from
Kent Hovind.
an inmate at the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. This call will be recorded and monitored. Your advance pay account balance is $78.90. For customer assistance, billing inquiries, or to block future calls, dial 1-877-650-4249. To hear the cost of this call, press 8 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. This call is subject to monitoring and recording. Do not use three-way or call waiting features during this call. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey, brother, if I can add two more, we had 180, but two more illustrations of Dinosaur Adventureland, because you are talking about, this is my heartbeat now, using science to draw people to God. I dream, I have folders full of ideas, and everything we do purposely is low-tech. If I build $1 million roller coaster, that's great, but not everybody can do that, So I want something that everybody can duplicate in their backyard or in their Sunday school class, and so we purposely developed lessons that are very easy for anyone, very cheaply to duplicate. We had one where we had a friend of mine had a large dump truck he jumped it and he cut the front wheel off, the front axle, and gave it to me. And we built a huge merry-go-round and bolted it to this front wheel of this dump truck. So it was real heavy duty. You could put a million pounds on it. It would hold about 12 kids. And you could get this thing spinning. It would spin really fast, and the kids are going round and round faster until they puke, Well, when we stopped the merry-go-round, we would say, okay, kids, you have 15 seconds to get off this merry-go-round and walk down this 2x6. It was painted bright red, laying flat on the ground, so you can't get hurt. Your object is, when the merry-go-round stops, get off, and in 15 seconds, make it to the end of the board. Sounds real simple. So we stopped the merry-go-round, and they would race off of there, and they're falling all over the yard, and everybody's laughing, of course, because they're dizzy. But say, now, get back on, we're going to tell you the simple secret of the merry-go-round. Are you ready? When it stops, don't move for 5 seconds. Even though we're counting down, 15, 14, 13, etc., don't move. Have a quiet time. And then get up and run down the board. And the secret in life, when you're really confused, I don't know what to do, I'm confused, what do I do? Well, then don't do anything. Sit and talk to God, have a quiet time. Don't rush off and try something difficult. When you get all confused, that's not the time to sell the house and move to Mars. That's the time to say, okay, God, talk to me. I need to know. Quiet me down, quiet my spirit. And when you just sit after you're dizzy, when you sit on the merry-go-round for 5 seconds, your brain settles in and your eyeballs quit wobbling, and you can get up and run down the board. So the simple lesson of a quiet time when you're confused is the lesson from the merry-go-round. We had another one where we had a barber chair that we greased the bearing where it spun so smooth. It was slick. Then you put the kid on there and blindfold him, and you get him spinning, and he tells you what's going on. I'm turning right, and after about 20 seconds, he'll say, I'm slowing down. When he's not, he's still spinning. And after about 30 seconds, he'll say, okay, I've stopped. When he has not stopped, he's still spinning. What happened was the fluid in his inner ear had stopped triggering the mechanism to tell him he's spinning. And so we have little models of the inner ear. We teach him the anatomy of how you have three little semicircular canals, the cochlea, and they're on the XYZ axis. And kids, when they first learn to walk, they have to get their balance, and it's funny watching them. They take a few steps and fall over because they don't have the balance mechanism figured out. They can't read the signals coming from their ear yet. And so we get them dizzy, we get them spinning on this barber chair blindfolded, and they think they're sitting still when they're not. And we show them how easy it is for your inner ear, for your feelings to fool you with reality, and how pilots often crash their planes if they don't learn to trust an outside source like instruments, gauges on the dash. You cannot trust how you feel in your head. And you cannot trust how you feel to make decisions. You have to have an external source, like thus saith the Lord. What does God say? Not how do you feel about it. Like this lady, I read her letter this morning. You're living with your boyfriend and he's still married. This is wrong. It doesn't matter how you feel. Stop. What does the Word say? Just stop. So we have at least 180 lessons that we actively teach. So yes, I'm going to produce Mr. Wizard type shows on
This call is from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
Science lessons for kids that anybody can do in their backyard for free or for little and nothing. We went to the bowling alley and said, do you have some old bowling balls that have a crack or something. We'll buy them off you. I said, oh, you're going to have them. They gave us 4, 5, 16-pound bowling balls. So we drilled a hole and put a screw eye and hung it from a cable, and that was a real simple lesson. And the kids would say, well, what if that ball comes back and hits me in the nose? We'd say, well, you won't hurt the ball. And no problem.
You won't hit the ball.
And what about me? Well, there's a lot of kids. There's plenty of kids.
I like that. There's plenty of kids.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, it was just cool watching them have to just grit their teeth and do I really honestly trust God's laws or not?
Yes.
And Christians all have to come to that, like me with this whole prison thing. You know, I was reading this morning some verses in the Bible. I said, God, it's been 101 months. I still trust you, Lord. I still don't like it. I still want to go home, but I still trust you.
Amen.
Now can I go home?
Amen.
So, Anyway, yes, I loved Mr. Wizard, loved that concept, only I want to do it more than just to teach the science. I want to teach the science to have a spiritual lesson that will draw kids closer to God. Okay?
Amen. No, thank you, Pastor Hovind. And Author, we really appreciate your questions. He's had some good questions. This is Author's last question, so Author's been a real blessing. Author's question number 5 says, Kent, I have a recent video of you wearing a camouflage on stage with a green t-shirt. Were you preaching overseas to the troops? Where was that? Would you ever consider going to a war zone like Iraq or Afghanistan and preaching creationism? Thank you very much, and we will continue to hold Kent up in our prayers. We are headed to Florida May the 18th to support you, Mr. Kent. Well, praise God for that. So, praise God for Author. That was a really good round of questions from him.
All right. The picture of me with the camo shirt was taken at our one-time event that we did. We wanted to make it an annual event. My son can tell you all about it. I just had brain freeze here. We had 800 and some people come for our boot camp. That was it, Creation Boot Camp. And the theme was, let's get prepared, let's learn the basics of how to present creation. And people came. It was at Marcus Point Baptist Church. And then because of this trial, they said you can't come back and do it again here. So that was sad. But anyway, Creation Boot Camp was a royal success, and it was great. My son has lots of videos of it. We had speakers come in, and the basic idea was teach people the basics of creation. This is boot camp. Learn the basics and get out and do something. It was wonderful. But it was right in Pensacola. And the other part of the question, yes, I have spoken with our troops many times. I speak at military bases as often as I can. As often as I get invited, which has been probably a dozen times or so, various bases around the world. When I travel, I always try to, support the troops, help them. We have letters by the thousands, and maybe I could say by the tens of thousands, from troops around the world that have watched my videos and been saved or had their life changed. We donate videos to when the sergeants or lieutenants write us and say, look, would you give us a set of videos for our troops to watch? We want them to see this. Oh, no problem. We do it all the time. So my videos are in military bases all over the planet. If you know anybody in the military, write to them and ask them or call them. And the next time they call you, ask them, hey, do you have Kent Hovind videos? Oh, yeah, we got them. We love them. The guys watch them. So I'm extremely supportive of the troops. And I was so disappointed when even after trial last time, 8 years ago, and I couldn't say anything, the judge is sentencing me and accuses me of not being supportive of the troops. Man, my dad was a Marine. My brother-in-law flew a Huey helicopter pilot in Vietnam. I love our country. I love this country. I support the military, and I'm exactly the opposite is true. I want to help, and we have, but we need our troops as well as everybody else to be godly. If we want God to bless them, they want to curse and swear and commit adultery, and then say, "Okay, God, protect me out here." Well, He may or may not, but I'd much rather see our troops live godly, and so I'm working hard at that. So, answer to the question is yes, I have, and yes, I will continue if I can, and can't wait, love it. All right.
All right. No, thank you, Pastor Hovind. For that. The next question comes from Therese, and Therese writes, Dear Pastor Hovind, several months ago you mentioned during your unlawful raid that the IRS police were calling out to make sure to find the number 5 seminar DVD. Rudy was kind enough to post it on his YouTube channel, and it is powerful indeed. Would you please elaborate on that sad memory of them calling it out during the raid and God's providence of having other copies stored elsewhere for the listeners who have come on board? God bless you, Therese.
Okay. Okay, at the time they raided the place in 2004, the building 21 Cummings Road was where we did our video editing and video duplication. My son, Ken Andrew, bought the house and now owns it and lives there, but he was there that day. He was in charge of video editing, and still is, and in charge of video duplication. They came down to raid that house, and Scott Schneider came in, and Ken Andrew can tell you the whole story. Call him at Creation Today. He's there right now, I believe, and say, Ken Andrew, what happened? Let him tell this side of the story. They specifically came in, Scott Schneider, I believe, but this is secondhand. He would give it firsthand, and said, we got to find every copy we can find, especially the master copies of Seminar 5. It's such a dangerous video. We got to stop this thing. This sounds so much like the Nazis and their book burning,
Yes.
1937, 38, and so but the trouble was we had master copies at 6 or 8 different locations. I have learned to put stuff a lot of places. That's why this light and noise thing they can't stop it, When 800 people know what's going to happen, well, they can shut up one, but they can't shut up all of them. Everybody knows what's going on. But yeah, they were terrified of DVD number 5, which is the dangers of evolution. See, evolution theory is not just stupid. I mean, it is extremely stupid, and it's unscientific. But it's dangerous because this is the philosophy behind different ideas like communism, socialism, Nazism, Marxism. Why would Hitler kill the Jews and the black people? What would motivate a man to do such a thing? Well, he believed in evolution, that the blonde-haired, blue-eyed have evolved farther. Evolution thinking is the absolute foundation of what happened in World War II. You can't deny that. Now, not all evolutionists and atheists become Hitlers, but believing in evolution is a necessary ingredient to become a Hitler. And this is covered clearly in the Expelled video with Ben Stein. You can get that on creationtoday.org. That's a fabulous. Ben Stein did a fabulous video, Expelled, and in there he tours Germany and the concentration camps, and he talks to people, and he says this is one of the guys he interviews, a scientist, says, well, of course there's differences between Hitler and evolution theory, blah blah blah, but you can't have a Hitler, you can't have what happened without evolution. It's a necessary ingredient, and it's just so true. But it was funny to me, it still is, if it hadn't been so tragic, I guess, that they were so frantic to get rid of Seminar Part 5, The Dangers of Evolution. They know it's true, and anybody...
This call is from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
These pinky and the brain types who want a one-world government, a new world order, like that's going to solve all the problems, they are frantic to shut up anybody who exposes the stupidity of the whole concept and who says, look, this is based on evolution philosophy. In that Part 5, I show Hitler's list he was working on that he got from some renegade Catholic priest in 1907, I think. I haven't seen my notes in 8 years now, but this guy made a list of the races and who was superior, and he had it listed in order, and that's right. The page number and everything's right there. So watch video 5 to get more details on that. Okay. Answer the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Pastor Hovind. It is very, very interesting stuff. Okay, the next question comes in from Christopher. And Christopher writes, the P5+1 is a current alliance between 6 countries: China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, USA, and Germany. Today they made a historic nuclear agreement with Iran. Is the beast system rising up out of the sea? Are these the 7 heads from Revelation 13:1? He goes on to write, has anyone informed Mr. Hovind about Operation Jade Helm, which has already started in F1? And I'm not sure maybe that means FEMA Camp 1, I'm not sure, but maybe FEMA Region 1. But Jade Helm is another conversation. Maybe I'll bring you up to speed on that at some point later. But maybe go back to the P5+1. Are we seeing the rise of the beast system in Revelation 13:1?
Okay, well, all through history, people have looked at current events and tried to say, this is what's prophesied in Daniel or Revelation. People thought Napoleon was the Antichrist because of his desire to take over the world. People thought Hitler was the Antichrist because of what he did.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Certainly there have been many forerunners and ideas. So I will say I don't know that this is the 7 heads. I don't know. It could be, but I wouldn't go around dogmatically preach any of that, because we may have another 10 million years until the Lord comes back. You know, we may have 5 years, we may have 2,000 years. I don't know. I suspect it's coming, and I suspect it's going to be the Muslim nations around Israel that form the 10 heads. The 10 countries come together, and one of them is going to take over 3 others. The little horn's going to rise up. Listen, I cover all that in my book, What on Earth's About to Happen. All right, you got more questions, brother?
I do have a few more if you care to call back.
Sure, love it. It's a good time.
Okay, God bless. All right, again, I try to say at the end of this, if you have more Bible questions, and we always need more Bible questions, please send them to ruddavis@yahoo.com. You can also give me a call at 972-839-9848 if you'd like to have a recorded testimony about Pastor Hovind's ministries meant to you.